Well, we're off to Manchester again. I've got 2 jobs to do over in Oldham and then one on the way out in Denton.
So we've got a DAF CF 70 plate, reported engine malfunction, exhaust system malfunction, you name it, we got it on the dash apparently. Let's have a look. Emissions failure, engine malfunction. Oh, emissions failure and engine malfunction. Well, we can deal with them, can't we? Right, let's get Jaltest plugged into the OBD socket. Right, let's get this VCI plugged in here and see what's going on. How are we looking today? Looks good to me. So we'll hit auto VIN identification. We want model year 17. And then we'll do a main system scan, because this just scans our main systems. With our system scan now complete, we can go into PCI. Now EAS4 isn't showing any faults, but PCI is. We're in engine protection. We've got an EGR volume control valve position sensor fault. We've got an EGR solenoid valve calibrated out of the correct margin, and EGR volume control valve position sensor operational failure. So we'll connect into PCI. So not only have we got P codes, we've also got a U code, which is a communication issue. So let's see what's going on this engine. Well, doesn't that look weird? Well, it doesn't take a genius to work out why this has got positional error issues. It's just not right, is it? So what it should look like is this. As you can see, the arms crossed over. This should be here, working in a linear operation. Now, do we take this off and try and reposition it? No, not really. I think their best bet here is to take this back to the manufacturer or factor that they bought it from and get the right one that actually has the arm on the right side. So I think I'll just go and grab the customer now, just tell him what's going on. Unfortunately, he's going to have to change this about now, or like I say, go and get another one. So we've got a DAF CF FAD to have a look at now, Euro 6. So it's reportedly in power reduction and they've drove it into the garage to get it sorted. So we've got AdBlue dosing malfunction, engine power reduced, and exhaust system malfunction. Right, let's get Jaltest plugged in and see what's going on. We'll get our Jaltest VCI plugged in, which has been supplied by Diagnostics. We've got powers, grounds and CAN. Let's go and see what's going on Jaltest. So we'll hit auto VIN identification. This will obtain the VIN number automatically into Euro 6 MX11. And then we're going to go for anti-pollution, which is EAS3. And from here we can hit up our fault codes and we can see what we're dealing with. So everything's inactive at the moment. Air shut-off valve solenoid component in stuck closed position. EAS data has been lost due to some sort of shutdown, and AdBlue DEF dosing module operation failure. So if we look at this one, we've got the AdBlue DEF dosing module here. This has got an operation failure. So what we'll do is we'll prime this and see what's so inoperable about this component. So we'll go into system checks, AdBlue metering module, and from here we'll go to priming the AdBlue dosing module. Let's click connect. Let's click start. No active faults. Hopefully this will prime our system. Right, start. Let's have a look at the pump. Well, it's making all the right noises. Oh. Yeah, that's leaking AdBlue, that. We better get this open and see what's going on. So now we know we've got a leak, we'll just knock the ignition off. Right, we can get this cover off here now. I might take the wing off, thinking about it, might make my life a bit easier. Even though it's got a side scan on it. No point in that. Right, so. Hopefully we can leave this on the tyre or something. Seeing as the wires are holding the wing up at the moment, we'll make this quick. Back on Jaltest, we'll start our priming of the module again. Start. Well, that's running the prime test. We can pop under here now and see where it's leaking from. Is it the filter or is it the actual body of the pump? That's tough to say. I think we'll take the filter off. Not what to use to undo these, but I haven't got a 12-sided socket on me. Right, let's see what's going on with this. Why is there a cutout there? Why would there be a cutout there? So I think one of the easiest ways to tell if this is actually internal or the filter is we'll just take this plug off and see if there's any AdBlue in the plug. Well, that seems dry. So I've just got the pump off the AdBlue tank now. We'll just whip these fittings out, which are always fun. Right, now we can have a better look at this pump and see where it's leaking from. See, I think it's coming from here. But then is that cracked? Or is that meant to be like that? I think that body's broke. Yeah, it is. I think it is coming from the filter through this. Well, we'll have a look at the new one because we're going to put a new pump on it now and we'll go from there. So we've got a brand new pump here from Motus Oldham as per the customer's request. So this is our old pump. I'm convinced we've got an issue with it. And I thought it was coming from the body, but I'm questioning whether this bit here is actually broke, which I think it is. You'd think that was meant to be all the way around there, and it's not. So what we'll do is I'll get our new one out of the box, and because I've had 2 minutes to think, I remembered 27mm spanner actually fits these, so I won't be using these again. So we'll crack this off now and we can compare both the pump bodies. So we'll take that out and keep that to one side. Right, so as you can see, there's no crack or anything round there, is there? So somebody's changed this filter, put a screwdriver in here most probably. If I had a screwdriver, I reckon they've tried to do something like this, lever this out, and they broke this pump body. So that's the loss of pressure. So we'll build this back up. I'm sure there's a torque setting on this. 20 newton meters plus or 5 newton meters. So we'll just torque that up now. There you go, 20 newton meters. So we'll get this fitted back to the truck. So with our pump now fitted to the truck, we can turn the ignition on and try our priming test again and see if it maintains pressure. So back on Jaltest now, we can connect back to EAS3. We'll go to our system checks, AdBlue metering, dosing, and we'll see if we can prime this pump. So while our test is starting now, we'll just check to see if there is actually any more leakage going on here. I don't think there will be, but we need to check these things, don't we? Should we get the stone out for him while we're here? Man, that's annoying me. I mean, it'd help if the tank strap was behind the tank, like, but... Nothing going on here now. You know what? I think we're golden. So I'm just down in Manchester now. We've got a Euro 6 LF 180, which is the 4-cylinder Cummins engine. We're going to have a look at this. We've got reported engine warning on the dash, so we'll get in the cab and have a look what's going on. So the driver's reporting that we've got an engine warning malfunction. Let's have a look. Never see the dip when you want to see it. So what have we got?
Anything they can...
So we've got engine malfunction and brake lining wear. Right, so we'll get Jaltest now plugged in from Eclipse Diagnostics and we'll see what's going on fault code wise. Pedestrian, that's nice. Right, let's get this plugged in here. So we're plugged in, we've got powers, grounds and CAN, it always helps. Let's see what's going on Jaltest. So we'll go into auto VIN identification, we'll go to obtain VIN automatically. Seeing as it's an engine warning, we'll just go to engine and we'll connect to that now. And then we're looking for fault code reading. Faults we've got are 331 faults. Right, okay, one of them's CAN, doesn't matter. So we've got 231 faults here, AdBlue metering valve and SCR catalytic converter. We don't need to look at them. Now, if I look at all the other faults here, I'd say boost pressure sensor, valid data, but below normal operating range. That's what we're going to be concentrating on today. Now, if we press question mark, so components related to the fault, boost air temperature and pressure sensor. So we'll just have a look at what could possibly be the issue with fault code 102-18. So we'll go into OEM RMI now. We know this is a 2015 LF and it is a LF. So little LF, there we go, 180. We don't really care, there we go. That'll do, thank you very much. So we'll go into diagnosis. Here we can filter our search results for 102-18. Inlet air pressure in inlet manifold, data valid but too low. Now, what could be the possible causes of this? So it's saying it detects that the inlet manifold pressure reading was below the expected level for engine operating conditions. So this diagnosis will go to inactive after the diagnosis runs and passes. So, additional information. The boost pressure and boost temperature sensors monitor the pressure in the inlet manifold. This DTC is set active when the inlet manifold pressure is too low for the present engine operating conditions. If the engine is unable to achieve the desired oxygen level necessary for complete combustion, this DTC is logged. Now, we've got some troubleshooting here. There's various components that are related to this fault, but one of the ones that I'm most probably going to say is the fault here is the polluted EGR system. Now, the customer has mentioned that it comes up emissions failure, and one of the issues here is emissions failure that comes up. The SUP filter runs full in a short time, notifying the driver to carry out a regeneration. So what we'll do now is check the EGR cooler for blockages. And from there, we can see what needs to happen next, really. So we'll just secure the cab. And we'll tip the cab now and see what's going on. Oh look, it's a funny DAF rocker cover. So we'll have a quick look in here, see if these ports are blocked. And I think we'll have a quick look in the EGR cooler and see if that's blocked. Doesn't look good, does it? Let's go get a torch. Well, that's looking a bit contaminated, so we'll slap this back on there and we'll get this elbow off here. So we've got the bolts out of this now. I've just whipped the clamp off there. We'll have a look at the EGR cooler, hopefully. If we can get the pipe off. Awesome. So we'll fire up the camera and stick this down there and have a quick look at the EGR cooler condition. Well, I wouldn't say it's too blocked. Looking at the camera. But there is a lot of soot in here. I wonder what the inlet manifold's like. Well, I've seen worse. Look at this. I've seen worse. Put it that way. So what's the fault? Why are we getting this? That's the question. See, I don't know if it takes EGR delta pressure into consideration as well as the boost temperature and pressure sensor down there. So we'll just unblock these ports if they'll undo. Looks like somebody's already been in here. That one's gone. It's always a good sign. That's one unblocked anyway. If in doubt, give it a slap. So that should have burred the end of the socket over and allowed us to undo it then. Just clean all this out. I think the EGR is polluted personally, or the inlet manifold anyway. It's a funny old fault that. Might be a watch this space video. Well, that's back together. We'll clear the faults and see how he gets on. Bothered about these boost pressure sensor, engine coolant, intake air temperature sensor behind the turbocharger. Bothered about them faults. But I'd say it's this pressure sensor that's the biggest problem. And the fact that that boost pressure sensor has been changed as well. I don't know what to make of this at the moment. We'll see you next Tuesday with this one, I think.
So, how do you think that EGR valve ended up the way it was? It was a new component. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. The gaskets are getting ordered to sort out the LF this week. I'm going to clean out the inlet manifold and the EGR valve before I go looking for boost leaks and broken turbos, I think. Other than that, I'll catch you next week.